If you joining us for the first time, Kingdom of Economic Forum is set up to discuss issues that relates to the development of our nations and, for that matter, Africa. For the past 3 weeks or 3 episodes, we've been looking at transformational values for building the new Ghana. Everybody is looking for us to build, have a good country. And unfortunately, it has become a wishful thinking. But we believe that with the right systems, we can translate this wishful thinking into a reality. And one of the things that we believe will build a nation has to do with the value system. We have said on this platform that nations are not built because of its natural resources. In fact, nations are built based on their value systems. And that is what we are going through, trying to let you know the value system. And my brother, Dr. Joshua, upon told us the other time that there's nothing wrong with the black man. There is no curse upon the black man. What is wrong with the black man, and for that matter, of the black nations, has to do with their value systems. Their value systems. And last episode, we had opportunity to look at two of the value systems. We discussed the issue of responsibility, the sense of responsibility. The black man, anything that happens to the black man, you want to find out who caused up. Instead of finding out what did I do that brought that the experience. We are always happy to get somebody to shift the blame to. And this is a serious value that we are missing in our part of the world. If somebody even dies, we want to find out who killed him. Instead of looking at the causes. So the moment we say, oh, this person killed him, the witch killed him, then we don't do anything again. That, oh, the gods have done it, so that's all. So we always shift responsibility. And we have said that until you are responsible for yourself, somebody else is in control of you. And we talked about the fact that responsibility has to be with a personal responsibility, which would then translate to the societal responsibility. If you are individual, if you are not responsible individually, the nation cannot be responsible. And that's why we've gone to IMF 17 times, because we discount, and when we chop the money, we know we have a fallback. We can just go and narrate to IMF and tell them that this is what happened. You know what? We give them all the relevant excuses, and then they give us another money, and we chop the money. And that has become a cycle. And unfortunately, Doc, what happens is that the church will then be praying for let's pray for our politicians. And they really know what they are doing. They know that when we get into the difficult situation, they will press the panic button for the church to be praying for them. And then we pray, then we go back after 5 years, or after worst case, 8 years, we go back to square one, because we haven't decided to take responsibility of whatever happens to us. And the last thing we discussed the other episode was truth. And I think that I want to hand over to Doc to just say something, because we were discussing the truth. I really liked it. We've been living in the half-baked truth. We don't give the total truth. We pick one aspect and we run with it until, like excuse my word, some parties, we have the left states and the right, until we realize these people are going too left, because we are not able to come up with the truth. So can you say something about the truth before we move on to today's other values we are discussing? Thank you. Over to you from the studio.
Okay, okay. I trust I can be heard. And then good evening to you all. We thank God once again for another opportunity to continue our discourses. Yes, so with the truth, I remember one of the things we said was the fact that at the base of every bondage happens to be either deception or lies or certain falsities that is undergirding it. So the good book says that ye shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. So if any nation or society wants to drive or chase after freedom, then one of the principal elements is to pursue truth. So in place of falsehood, in place of lies, in place of deception. So deception then becomes the half truth. And then we have the complete lies, or if you want, maybe myths and superstitions. So that is what is really the philosophy that undergirds the present Ghana, is more of borrowed lies and then philosophies of superstitions and then half truth. Maybe the issue or the subject has a form of truth, but it is not full, it is not the complete truth. So all these things are responsible for where we are as a people. So in place of it, we must pursue the whole truth. And when we pursue truth in education, when we pursue truth in family and marriage, when we pursue truth in leadership, whether political or traditional, all kinds of leadership. So in every venture of our lives, if the pursuit of truth becomes the utmost thing, then that is the beginning of innovation and creativity, because a lot of things will then come also into play. So those were some of the points we made on the subject of truth, that we must pursue the whole truth. God's half truth, deception, lies, myths, superstitions. I mean, they'll just lead us where we are now.
Thank you very much. So if you are joining us, we are still discussing the values that transform nations. Some of you, please share the link so others can join this session. Deep thoughts are being shared here. Thank you. So please, those who have joined us, let's invite friends to join us. We need a critical mass of people to understand these things. Until we understand some of these things, trust me, this nation cannot. I believe in prayers, but the truth is that the prayer is just a foundation. The building blocks are these values. So if you don't understand some of these things, you might think that our prayers, even we are not praying powerfully. And the prayers that we've been praying, we are praying you. The reason why we are not seeing results is that we have left certain values ajar. And that is why God has laid upon our hearts to share some of these things. These are truth and applies every aspect of your life, whether individual level, societal level, or the world on a larger scale, the world. These are the principles that are helping. So tonight, we want to look at other value systems that build a nation, that brings transformation. Let me add that when we are talking about transformation, it's not a day's job.
Yeah.
Paul said we should renew our minds. The renewal of minds, it takes time. And trust me, Kingdom Economic Forum, in partnership with New African Concept, we have time. We are not rushing it. we have time. If we have to be discussing this every day, we don't need to rush and change topics. We have time. And we believe honestly that when we're able to get the critical mass to help us, Ghana would develop within uh, a second. I don't know whether you saw this interesting video on this flyover that the president launched just this.
Yes, yes, yes. There was a
Some
woman with coconut.
coconut, selling coconut too. He doesn't understand what so the point is that Ghana, we don't need infrastructure. What we need is a transform value systems.
Hmm.
And then these infrastructures will become a bonus. If we don't get the people to understand these value systems, we will throw monies away. Sometimes, anyway, so the next value system today we're going to look at is value of time and life. And dog, I want us to take respect for time and life. I want to hand over to you. Go ahead. Respect for time and life as a value system.
Okay, just a quick one, just before that one, with
Good.
picking up from where you ended, I just want to freshen up our minds on how needful this thing we are talking about, especially on the subject of value system, is to the nation or nation building. Mostly, we are just some few days away from our elections. And when you listen to the narratives by most of our leaders, it deals much more with infrastructure, unemployment, economy. Now, of course, all these are fundamentally good and nice. Unfortunately, one thing which is missing almost across board is this very building block of values. Professor Henrietta Bonsu, who currently is part of the Supreme Court judges, in 2013, she gave a lecture, and in that lecture, in her introduction, she made mention of the fact that in a democratic setting like Ghana, there is what we call tangible democratic principles and intangible democratic principles. And she said that the tangible democratic principles are the laws which have been constituted in the constitution and in the bylaws of the country. So those ones are tangible, maybe criminal laws or maybe this. They are very tangible. We can all open the constitution and then read. If it is criminal, if it is this, it is tangible. But then in her narrative, she said that beneath the tangible democratic principles, which are the laws, there are those ones we call intangible democratic principles. And those ones are the value systems. He said those ones, they are intangible because they have not been written down as a code. They have not been written down essentially as specific laws, but they are more or less like the glue which binds the tangible laws together. A typical example is, for instance, if I go to steal, there are provisions in the Constitution for how I should be handled. But because there is a particular culture or set of values, which is hero worshiping and then all that, when I go to steal and then the police gets me, all what I have to do is to call an MP, is to call an uncle of mine who has a particular level of authority in the government structure. And then he will call the police inspector and then say that, oh, I am a kwada intijano. So now the intangible democratic principles, which happens to be the value system, because it is weak, it is rendering the tangible laws ineffective. So what we call the system is working, the system is working, the system is working, is the effective running of the intangibles. And the intangibles are the culture. So we put up structures, but we don't have what we call the maintenance culture. There is no constitution. It is not in our constitution with the word maintenance culture. The maintenance culture is a typical example of intangible democratic principles. You cannot hold it. It is found in the culture. And because of that, it will render the tangible laws very much ineffective. And the end result is that the system is not working. So it falls back that way with the all these things, the economy. These are the value systems are from Prof's perspective. She calls it the intangible democratic principles, and she concluded that the weaker the intangible democratic principles or the culture of any society, the looser the laws, no matter how powerfully has been crafted, it becomes loose and then ineffective. So it stands to reason that these discussions are very, very important, and we pray that a new generation definitely shall arise that will embrace it to the utmost bit. So, so the value of the sense or the respect for time and then life. We've always said here on this platform and many other places that time is life and life is time. And for that matter, life does not give you what you deserve. Life gives you what you bargain for. And if you do not respect time, it means you don't respect life. And if you don't respect life, you don't expect to, it means your bargaining power unconsciously is weak. And definitely the end result is that you cannot get much out of life. So any person or any group of people that is seeking whether a personal, institutional, or national transformation, one of the vital commodities which should be the nexus or the epicenter of the discussion should be that a reorientation of our minds to value time. Currently, what we have is a gross disrespect for time. So much so that we have even tagged it with the name Ghanaman time or African
GMT.
time, GMT. So we have understood that, that this is being comfortable in our bondage and slavery. And when you have a slave, you see, the actual thing is that when you catch a slave or when you imprison somebody or when you make someone a slave, there is that natural tendency to start fighting for freedom. But after a while, after fighting, and then he realizes that at the end of then now he becomes comfortable in his slavery. He accepts that this is my almost my divine condition. For us to be giving it a name, Ganaman time, so much so that the fellow who wants to obey time or respect time, we rather even laugh at the person. When you see something like this, what it means is that you are dealing with the people who are comfortable in their slavery and bondage. And it will take a lot of mental reorientation to get us there. There is no amount of money and aids that will be given us that will take us there if we don't work on these intangible democratic principles. So the place of time is very important because it has also economic functionality, because economic is a function of productivity, and then productivity is also a function over time. The work you are doing over time. So when we talk of things running, all these things deals with time. So if we don't respect time, and it is so entrenched everywhere, from church to politics to the classroom, almost everywhere we have come to accept that disobeying and not respecting time is a normal thing. The reorientation begins and must begin from today, that if you want to get much out of life, then you must live a life to respect and then obey time. Time can either be wasted, time can be spent, and time can be invested. At the personal level, if you are wasting time, it means that you are engaging in activities that does not bring you much or even any dividend. So you are just whiling away the time. And when you come down here, you could see that man hours. Sometimes when you're walking through the streets or you will see maybe elderly people gathered around, this drafts or dummy. And then it is not even the people playing, but just around these people, you can find about 15 young able boys or young men. And all what they are running is commentary on this draft. They can be there for about 3 hours. The question is, what is the end goal? These 3 hours could have brought a lot of output. So our cumulative waste of time at the personal level and then as a people, only God knows what can come out of it. So time can be wasted either at the personal level or as a nation. When we engage our time and resources in activities and projects that does not bring out much dividends, it means that we are wasting our time. Time can also be spent. So spending time becomes like the time you use for cooking, for washing clothes, for bathing. Well, you need them in a way. You cannot do without them. So those ones are spending time. And then time can be invested. Like when you are reading, like when you are praying, like when you are doing those things, you are investing much dividends, just like the difference between savings and investment. It's the same thing for spending and then investing time. So at the national level, that is, so for instance, we want to celebrate maybe Sit March. It is not bad because to have anniversary of celebrations, it is not bad. But when you sit down critically, you realize that what are we even celebrating? After 67, 68, or whatever span of years, are we really truly independent? Should we commit this X amount to the celebration? By the time we are done with the celebration, Obia Fahon esi abrosan because of an inflated contract that was, given to the person. And what are we really celebrating in the first place? That we succeeded in kicking the people. We are celebrating the physical absence of the white man. Shouldn't we be concerned about the fact that we are still in a deplorable way? So to invest means that if we can say that, well, we are suspending these celebrations, not to call it bad, but because of our context, we are suspending it maybe for the next 10 years. And all those amount of money, we are rather investing it into educational infrastructure, into training, into doing something. You realize that 10 years' time, we will now be having the dividends of this investment, as against just celebrating, and 10 years' time, all what we have is singing the national anthem and then a cease march and then all that. So to summarize the point on the respect for time, what we are saying is that we must shift from what we have now, which is a gross disrespect for time, to also a respect for time. And it goes with respect for human lives. It is sad, so sad, and sickening when we take a posture. We are just hypocritical. We take a posture as though we care, but in reality, we do not care.
We don't.
We don't care, because if we care, it would have shown in many of our activities and engagements and how we go about things. And because we don't understand that the greatest resource of any nation is rather the human capital and not the gold or those the natural resources. The real gold and the real diamond and the real silver is locked up in the hearts and in the minds of the people. So it means that the loss, the unfortunate accidental or deliberate loss of a single person in our country is costing us. But look at our roads. We don't care. Many people die through road accidents. We use them only for statistical purposes. So when the white man does something to George Floyd, we will chant the chorus that Black Lives Matter. But in reality, it is because we are contending with a white man. So we want to give him the tag that he is a racist. So Black Lives Matter. If you ask me, that is not what I know. Because if you want to assess that Black Lives Matter, then get to the home of the blacks, and that is Africa. And when you see how we are treating ourselves, go to the prisons. We are treating our fellow human beings like subhumans. When you go to the prison centers or the prisons, even the white man that we say he's racist, he's wicked, he's callous and iniquitous, the kind of structure that they put up to host the then prisoners, there are only few places that have been expanded. Most of it, we are still having the colonial prison structures. So even the wicked white man, which we will say he's wicked, was willing to keep, let's say, 40 people in a given space. And then our own people are now keeping over maybe 150 people in a space that the wicked white man was saying that it should be for only 40 people. Go and check. I've been privileged to be at Nsawam, Doom prisons because of the ministry and then what we do. And when you go there and you check the kind of lives they are going through, and even the food, the kind of food they are eating, you realize that when we chant Black Lives Matter, we are only stimulating ourselves. We have to shift to a sense of value for human life. And that is what, if we have this value, it will show when I take a contract, then I am conscious of the fact that if I don't construct this road well, and there are potholes and stuff like that, it can lead to the loss of lives, which is the greatest, commodity or ingredient to build our nation. If this mindset, the entrepreneurs or business, whether goods, products, services, then I'll be thinking of the fact that it will not be the obsession of my profits which will override the quality of the goods. I'm thinking of what they are taking in. I am thinking of the quality of the product, how it is going to affect either their skin or their health or their minds or any other thing. But what do we have? Even church folks or religious folks will check all these things, and then their obsession is nothing but profit, profit, profit. If it will mean diluting the efficacy of the product in order to have a raised profit, that is what they will do. We finish it, and then we pay tithes, come to church, give testimonies, and then the cycle goes on. May God have mercy. That is the value of time and value for life.
Life. But there's this quote I place on my Facebook when it comes to the value of life. It says that never plant thorns on somebody's path. Your children might take that route barefooted one day. Never plant thorns on someone's path. You never know. Your children might take that route barefooted one day. And I think you've really mentioned we really don't value life. That is a major problem in our setup. We don't. And I think you've made it so practical. Now when you go to the shops, the farmers, the various diseases we are experiencing are all human generated. The cancer, all these lifestyle diseases. Because we are worshiping money. Money has become the god we are worshiping.
Yeah.
So we don't care. Look at the Galamsey issues. We are all shouting. When somebody thinks he's okay, he is taking advantage. But we don't care about the next person. And I like what the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyameche, keeps saying, that we should be thinking of the next generation, not. Unfortunately, we don't plan for having the next generation in mind. We are just destroying the system, and unfortunately, in the church, some of us even think that we do that we can go to heaven quickly because heaven. This earth is not our own. Heaven, we are going to have it, and unfortunately, people are destroying the
So it will
earth
take us to heaven quickly.
quickly. This is serious. So thank you very much. Time and the value of life. Thank you very much. We can move on to the next value system that you think we should like. I think patriotism is one of the value systems that we are lacking in this country. Maybe you share more light on that one too.
Yes. Well, I think even one of the things that shows that we don't value life is the kind of prayers we do even in church. Killing
people, killing our enemies,
killing our people, our family members, and then all that. At the end of the day, so that I can have a free and then a happy life. So even the religious misinterpretation and misunderstanding is a clear case that we don't value human life. We are ready that our aunties, our grandparents, they should die if need be, so that I become maybe rich or become free. But surprisingly, it looks as though if you are rich, it looks like your aunties and then your grandparents are free. It is when you don't have, when you are poor, that is when. And also where
and then the prophets have also they are using psychology. I always ask people, have you seen a rich man's wife that has received a prophetic message that the person is a witch, or a rich man's mom Always the
Never,
poor.
never.
Never. It can't happen. Always the poor. Anyway, I
Okay,
think
so
let's
the
move
sense of
on.
patriotism, it is obvious, it is pretty
Mm.
obvious that all across within the fabrics of our dear nation, the patriotism keeps on ebbing out, ebbing out, ebbing out. And it is so currently what we have, the culture or the value we have in place of it now is a deep sense of unpatriotism. So what we are hoping that it will be injected into the cultural DNA of our dear nation will now be a sense of patriotism. But there is the reason why it comes is because we are coming from a particular background. Maybe I'll make mention of two major reasons. The reason why we have a deep sense of non-patriotism amongst us as a people is that I've always said that before what we have now as Ghana, we are a country, but we are not yet a nation.
Sure.
What makes a country, at least we have our borders, we have our geographical space, we have maybe our constitution, we have those kind of stuffs, which we have our Ghana flag, the anthem, we have the various protocols which will be fit for us to be a country. But though we use it interchangeably, the question or the subject of nation is pressing something deeper. Because when we start talking about nation, then we are talking about one people, one language, one nation. And the language here is not the local dialects, but rather the fact that we are speaking a common vision.
Common
So
vision.
if there is one language, then what happens is that we understand that the diversity rather becomes a blessing rather than a curse. To us now, diversity is almost like a curse. But if we understand that, well, there will be clashes of perspectives. But like Hegel proposed, that there will be thesis, there will be antithesis, and when you bring it together, you will have synthesis. So there will be clash of perspectives. But the goal is that let us argue, let us debate, let us talk about it to arrive at a logical conclusion, this time for the common good of the people. But from our roots, we are coming from tribal inclination. So we have a tribal division. We have a religious division, not so intense, especially in Ghana, but in other African countries like maybe Nigeria and co, it is quite
Nigeria.
more prevalent. And then you can have the partisan division.
Political.
Now, these are the three levels of division which is destroying us as a people. And because of that, it is not making us patriotic. Because at the end of the day, we are thinking party first before Ghana. We are thinking tribe first before
First,
Ghana.
before.
And then in religious tensions place, we are also thinking religion first before Ghana. And immediately this comes, it means that this is going to cloud your objective analysis of things. How many professors don't we have in our nation? Or even, I should say, educated elites. Listen to them on the television, making points into maybe certain topical issues. And then you begin to wonder, that is education really the key? Because these educated people, because PhD, meaning you are a doctor of philosophy, your ability to philosophize, your ability to interpret data and give an objective analysis to its logical conclusion. This person is an elite, but he belongs to party A. So now the party A stand is of much superior interest than the objectivity of the thing. So all what he's going to use is to use his intellectual sophistication to rather twist and turn the subject in favor of his political party. In that case, it is more dangerous to have an educated elite people Because the more educated that they become and the more clouded they are with partisan veils, then they are going to use the advantage of their education to the detriment of the masses and the nation. Look at our lawyers. Look, this even finds its place in even the judgments of some of our judges. Sometimes the judgment that is pronounced by our judges, you could see that it is devoid of any objective common sensality, or maybe objective common sense or logical reasoning. You could see that there are partisan underplays which are needed. So all what we are saying is that until we give a critical boot, so that because we have been pitched together as a country, we must now become a nation. And unfortunately, this should have been the early discussions during the days of independence, which is a sense of national integration. So that now, so in our, let's say, you say they are all part, they are abra kotoko, so yes. Now, this was effective during, because those times we were living in our tribal enclaves. But now this same statement should now be carried now on the nationalistic tone, that they're all part, they're Abba Ghana, no yengena bro. But though we are still in the nation, we are still maintaining the subjectivism. So now, if it is bringing it to maybe Asante, I am now looking at more at the Asante light. So if this person is known to be a corrupt person, as long as he is one of us, his being corrupt is not so much of an issue because he's one of us. The issue is when he is of a different kind or a different place, then now let us go after him. But if he is one of us, so at the end of the day, or Pebibiaba. So our cultural maxims and statements should now be reoriented, should be redesigned to leave just the subjective tribal essence and then now have a flavor of nationalistic tendency. That now the upper diaba Ghana no na bro. And then if Ghana then means our various subjective places. So these are the three levels of divisions which our politicians and most of our leaders are well aware. And that is why after they mess up, they will hide under this division, because we should have really put them on their lines. We should have caught them on accountability. But then once they see that we are getting to them or at them, all what they have to do is to strike the tribal courts. And you know, a pathway, a modia. Inti ebeko go pan de man nko corner. E wo say yen share that year bibia there, but uba be share atwetia. So now they stimulate the emotional, psychological, tribal, and partisan strings. And then they get us again. And that has been the 4-year cycle all over again. But a new generation must arise who say that, yes, I know that we share, we are of the same tribe, but we are thinking of Ghana first. Ghana first have been there, but it is more of slogans. It is just slogan. I mean, when it gets to the field, it is something different. And the last thing I'll say is that we do not really value and honor our heroes. It's also another reason why patriotism is failing in our nation. Because a nation that does not know how to honor her heroes, it is not worth dying for. The reason why the average American is willing to die for America is that that effort will be appreciated. That story will be told for the next 1,000 years. There will be, we'll build maybe certain schools, and the name rose after the effort of trying to make America great. But when you come down here, oh no. We don't value our heroes. Just look at Asamoah. Of course, a very good player by all standards, but gave us an unfortunate shock during the World Cup. Even Messi, Ronaldo, everybody at a point in time, Obia say penalty.
Yeah,
But the way we treated him, it was as though he has not played football or done anything. So when you look at the people that will be coming afterwards, the younger generation, it will be playing in their minds that Oman Ghana no yenku ye ho emma no. If you say ukun ho na the here say why mistake ba could be say Kim, it will rubbish all the efforts. Is it therefore a wonder that look at the state of our Black Stars? It keeps on becoming more deplorable because no one is willing to die or to commit an extra mile to our Black Stars. And it's not only at Black Stars, it finds its place everywhere. Professor Alote, many people don't even know him. Look at the extent, a very excellent mind in physics and mathematics. Living Alote's constant. There are people in the universities in the Western world that are learning about Alote's constant. And he is a Ghanaian, or he was a Ghanaian. When he died, many people were not even aware. They buried him just normal. Such an astute mind, such a sophisticated mind that is having like Einstein and then sharing pedigrees with the likes of Einstein and then co, like Alote's constant, which is in math and physics. But where do we find the images, the narratives, the stories of our dear heroes? So the fact that we don't value and honor our heroes in various fields. Look at this fiber optic man who passed on some 2 or 3 years ago.
Last
It
year,
is
I think
even
last
much
year.
more appreciated by the people there than
In the West.
our own self. Look at Kantanka and many others. All what we are saying is that if we don't build a culture that values efforts, then what is going to happen is that many people will find it a useless pursuit to give ourselves to fighting for the cause of Ghana. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be honored for it. So these are the two strings that is producing an overall atmosphere of gross non-patriotism. But our prayer is that this sense of patriotism will start waking up by appreciating and valuing the little efforts that is done at various levels. At the home, we are not only talking at the national level. At the home, we should start appreciating our children for the little thing they do. In the schools, all through. When we start doing that, we are here, but we know the stories of Don Diego de Azambuja. We know the stories of David Livingstone. We know the stories of even Aristotle. And then Hippocrates, and then Immanuel Kant. But there are very bright minds like Amu and Co. But many people don't even know them. That we've been able to write our stories, to present it to our own people, to catch them. That this is what our fathers did. This is what they fought for. This is what they stood for. Yes, it may have one or two errors and mistakes, but this was what they stood for. And that we can know their names. We can call the shots so that we also, from that same spirit, we will be able to spring and then do something better. A sense of patriotism will change the face of our dear nation, Ghana.
Wonderful. No, thank you very much. If you are joining us, we are looking at the value systems that we believe will bring the needed development of our dear nation. Today, we have looked at respect for time and life as a value. The prevailing value, Doug, has made us to understand that is the gross disrespect for time. And unfortunately, we don't value life. We might say it with our mouth, oh, I love you, this, but our attitude and the way we treat people proves that we really don't value human life. And we are saying for us to develop as a nation, Let us respect time and respect human life. And then the last one he was talking about is the issue of patriotism. Oh, and the three things you mentioned, issue of the fact that we are not a nation, we are a country, but we are not a nation, has to do with the fact that we really are we are divided on three fronts: the issue of tribe, partisan, and in some cases religion, playing very serious role. And we are praying that we able to break. In fact, out of these three, the biggest at the moment is the political, the
Exactly.
political
The
link,
partisan.
the partisan, the
This
partisan politics.
terrible.
If you are a critical person, like somebody who asks questions, when you tend to ask questions, they will then begin to think that you are not part of them. They will brand you as an opposition.
Yeah.
And this is very sad that we are living here. We don't want us to ask questions.
Mm.
Things are not working for us. You don't you don't want to have any dissenting view on issue. We all want us to play, and this is bad. I think on this platform we are trying to let us. I'm but look, the issue is that is a spiritual. The
Very,
partisan is a
very,
spirit, and
very.
unfortunately, they are playing that card.
Mm.
And because he has become a kind of, some people even think that Ghana belongs to the party that he's in. So the moment his party is out of power, and answer in his mind, all things must come to standstill. Ghana is dead.
Yeah.
But trust me, Ghana is bigger than any political party.
Mm.
Let us begin to have that sense of belonging as a nation. Let's begin to have that Ghana first mentality. But the way we are going, honestly, maybe that will be another discussion. The way we are going, none of these political parties has Ghana at heart.
Mm.
That one I can say of a fact. The way things are going, and the little that I know, I haven't grown there, but the little I know, the experience I have, none of these political parties, and in fact, unfortunately, if you care to know, these political parties have been hijacked by some few people who are managing
Mm.
these two political parties. There are few people who are managing these two political parties, and it is like a game that they are playing with us. So if you don't know, you might think that you belong to this party, but it doesn't belong to you. There are people who are managing these two political parties to the disadvantage of us, and they are playing on our emotion. I pray that
Mm.
all of us will rise up and our eyes will be open, that we will
Yeah.
be people that will love this nation. In this election we are talking about, some are even planning that if it doesn't go my way, uh, and Ghana how you want to save us.
Yeah, Bessie,
Christ's sake,
Bessie.
if you want to serve us, if you really want to serve, I haven't seen anybody forcing to serve people. That if you don't
For
allow me to come and serve you, I will kill all of you. Creating this kind of tension here, and all these are stage managed. And when it happens that way, then the church will be praying. Prayer is good. I
Mm.
like that. But we
Mm.
need to begin to ask them the question. We know them. It's a
Yeah.
political game. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, if we sit back and we are not praying, they will want to implement it. The devil can take advantage of it. But the truth is that if we are really involved and we are asking them critical questions, they will know that we and as people, majority of us, we have a critical minds to ask some of these questions. They will know that we know their game, and they will change. So as we bring our discussion to a close, I don't know if anybody has a question that we can answer. You can send it to the chat board. We have 5 minutes. Go to the chat box. If any question, you can please ask for us to. We've looked at the patriotism. We are praying that all of us may begin to develop sense of patriotism.
Mm.
Ghana is what God has given to us. Ghana, we are so blessed. Trust me, God has blessed Ghana. Jones is up. Jones, please unmute yourself and then ask your question, please. Let me unmute you. If So, please. Okay, go ahead.
Nana, please, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm grateful to Doctor for the insight. Listening to Doctor, I see that on the issue of patriotism and time, you realize there's a divergent point. And humbly looking through those on call, I respectfully found out that one of my mentors, that's Apostle Professor Ohiniche, is on call. He's one of the people I've observed for years, if not more than 13 years. I first met him in 2011 at Pentecost University. They are somebody you can look up to. Humbly, if it's possible for him to help us, maybe the things they were taught, which in our generation we are losing, and where we can go back to revisit some of those values. I'll be grateful. Thank you very much, Nana, for the space.
Thank you, Osofo. Apostle, okay. Apostle, if you can. I don't know. Apostle Professor, whilst you are coming, Brother Timothy, please, you can unmute and ask your question. Whilst I try and get Apostle. Timothy, go ahead. Unmute. Wow. Brother Timothy. All right. Because of our time. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, it is not a question on my part. I'm very happy. The program, I like it too much. And anytime I don't have time to partake, in fact, that day is like I'm sick. So I want to suggest that if we can, this program can also be aired, maybe on television, or maybe there's on a radio, for, I mean, a wider public to have access to some of the things we've been discussing here. In fact, we discuss a lot of good things, but it looks here we are only 24 people on this platform. So can we maybe air it on television or radio or something like that? That is a suggestion.
Thank you very much. It's a good point. I think Doug and I will discuss about it. We will try and discuss it. That's a good one. Sorry, Apostle, I think we have unmuted Apostle Prof. So let me see. Can we unmute him? Okay. Apostle, you can come in. Cherry, can you allow Apostle Prof to
Hello,
talk?
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Apostle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. That is a fantastic delivery.
Thank
It's
you.
a fantastic delivery, yeah. And I think that most of the things that he's talking about, we were taught in school.
Wow.
Yeah. We were taught, we had I can't remember in those days, we had a program called a subject called civic education. All right. And so we were taught, and I remember my memory served me right. We were taught Mr. Like the patriotism that we're talking about, you know, Mr. You know, like somebody who loves your country, you love your country, you want to help your country, want to help people and things. So well, I would say we were taught. So all the things that our brother is talking about, it stems from our educational system. You see, what have we changed since the white man left? Nothing. Or the educational system we have is still being brought by the white man. Don't we have brains to change, to see the values that we need to change our country, and then tailor it in such a way that we'll be able to teach our own children?
That's right.
But we don't do that. We sit here and then they bring this comprehensive sexual education to us, give us millions of dollars to implement it. And brains that have gone to the universities in our country would still sit down and accept and do it. So I agree with my brother. Not until we have a new generation rising up. All the people, older people will rise up and say, enough is enough. Why can't we tell the truth? You go to Europe and America, and a white boy, a white girl will tell you, why should I lie? And then you come here, and lies are being taught by our older people to us. How many presidents in Africa, and for that matter in Ghana, are punctual in programs? 2-3 hours and they are done. People are waiting. What are they teaching the people? What do they bring to help us? So you see, it has become a cycle. And older people are lying. It has seeped through to all of us, the adult people. So, like somebody said, this is something that needs, I pray that somebody have money to be able to help us for this delivery to be on TV. Not just on TV, but wider, wider audience. So we see somebody will sit elsewhere and see these deliveries where 27 or 30 people are listening to something trivial. But these are the things that will change our country. These are the things that will bring transformation. These are the things, that the messages, the lectures that will change the mindset of people towards real development. Be able to rise up and say, yes, this is my country. I want to die for my country. But how can we die for our country when those who are in the helms of affairs are the ones who have knives and guns shooting the country? How can we do that? Yes. So I really pray that those of us who are listening and discussing, we will take this and in our own small way begin to model it. Let us be punctual. Let us love our country, no matter the circumstances. And let's make sure that wherever we go, we become agents of transformation, agents of change in our own small way. And I believe, as our brother has said, I really believe that a generation is going to rise up, and it won't be long. Because we have the brains, we have the people, God has given us everything. We don't need to go abandoned. Yes. But it is because of the leadership challenges and the fact that we can't tell the truth. Values have been thrown to the wind, and we are doing what we want. And I don't know where we are. Where are we taking the money? The bribery and corruption and all these monies and destroying our land in Galamsey. Where are we taking the money to? You live with the white man, and once he gives birth, he's thinking about the future of that child. And that future, that child's future must be better than his or hers. But here we are, we destroy what we have and then tell ourselves that the children should come and fend for themselves. So I pray that what we are studying will really be something that we will take and use it. And I pray for more grace for our brother. I don't know him very well intimately. Maybe one day we'll meet. But let us take it serious. Let us really take it serious. More than the other things that we really do. I'm praying that every Saturday that we meet, today I'm in the car. I'm driving, I'm elsewhere. So I normally don't have time to well, sometimes if I find it difficult when try. But this one I tried and it worked. So that is what. So God bless you, my brother, and God bless you.
Thank you very much,
Nana and his team, for the great work that you are doing. And I pray that it will be profitable. Keep on doing it, no matter the number. You keep on doing it. You never know that the person who is coming to change this country is the person you are talking to. You never know. You are talking to somebody who's going to, not too long, will come and change the fortunes of this land. So you keep on this great work that you are doing. I'm with you. God bless you.
Thank you. Bless you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for listening to us. In fact, as part of what we intend doing, we run a consultancy firm where we help organizations to inculcate the value systems in their dealings. And trust me, we have developed a good material for that. So any organization that would need us, whether the church organization, the bank, whatever institution, whether private company, wherever, you need this value system. That will help you to, if the people you are working with have the right value system, they will not steal from you. Your company will move on. So we have developed that training program that we think will help us to train line management and then employees and business owners to inculcate all the value systems that we are discussing about valuing of time, life. Also, we have so many of them that we will be sharing with you. Our time is up. We thank you once again for coming. God bless all of you. I have seen somebody saying, in fact, this program should have a wider platform to have its maximum impact. You are right. Just that we have a plan. And then, like Prof said, we are not perturbed about the number that join. Fortunately, we have a YouTube channel. We have the Facebook that these messages are still there. We want you to. Also, now that you are becoming part of it, you have people that you can introduce. Let them come. It's every 2 weeks we meet once every 2 weeks on the television, on the radio. I think you hear from us. We're going to do that. We know we have a lot of stuff to share with the people of Ghana. We believe in Ghana. And we love Ghana. Ghana will work. We believe because of us, Ghana will work. And I once again, Dr. Joshua Pong, Safo, thank you very much. Today I didn't come to the studio. You are there. Thank you. God bless you so much. I'm in Kumasi for some funeral. So thank you for holding forth. God bless all of you for joining us. We thank our partners, Patose IB. Thank you for supporting us. You've heard that we need to go on board. We will be happy to have you on board. Until we meet again in 2 weeks' time, we say God bless all of you and make our nation great and strong. Bye-bye from my end. Doc, bye-bye. The team too, we thank you very much for supporting us. Sherry and his team, bless you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bezalel prayer, we have this prayer on Sundays. We are going, but maybe we have this opportunity to say Bezalel prayer on Sundays from 9 to 10 for businessmen, purely business leaders, businessmen. Join us. We pray specific prayers and have some short tidbits on business every Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m. Bye-bye. Thank you. Join us.